Okay. Hi. We're doing the review sheet as promised. It's Friday. Usually, I know I do it on Saturdays, but I'm going to be busy somewhat. So let's get this started. So question one: which rate is the fastest? In order to do this, you need to find a unit rate for each one. So I already have my answers here, but I will write it down. 489. What is it? Miles? Yeah, miles in 11 hours. And that gives you 53.55 in 1 hour. Okay, make sure you divide top and bottom by 11. Okay, divide this by 11, and you're going to divide that by 11. Okay, giving you the rate by hour, per hour. Let's do the second one, 111 miles in 2 hours. This one's easier. Divide top and bottom by 2, and you're going to get 55.5 in 1 hour. And then we have a third one, 360 miles in 7 hours. And divide top and bottom by 7 because you want to get the unit rate. And you're going to get 51.42 miles in 1 hour. And then we have 283 miles in 5 hours. And that means divide this by 5, divide the top by 5, and you're going to get 56.6 miles in 1 hour. So now that everybody's on the unit rate, we can compare, and the fastest one was this guy right here. He went 56.6 miles in 1 hour. Okay. Number two, I just changed screens. Number two was same thing. This one was a CDs. You can either buy 4 CDs for $71.96 or 9 CDs for $134.55. Like I said in class, guys, it's usually easier if we compare it per dollar, which means how much it costs for one CD as opposed to compare it by CD instead of per CD instead of comparing it per dollar. Okay, so you want to put the money on top. So the first one, you get 96 over 4 CDs, and doing it this way, you get the price per CD. So one CD cost you $17.99. And the second one was you pay $134.55, and you buy 9 CDs. So you want the cost per CD, divide that by 9, and that by 9 as well. And in this case, one CD costs you $14.95. So the better deal is to buy this set over here. Okay, buy 9 CDs for $134.55 because you get a better deal per CD. Okay. 3, which size is better, the 16 ounce or the 36 ounce? And again, when you're comparing, I think it's better to compare it per item instead of per dollar. So you get $195. You pay $195 and you get how much? You get 16 ounces. And if you divide top and bottom by 16, this one you're going to get 0.12 cents per 1 ounce. Okay, and the other size, it's $3.05, and you get 36 ounce. This could be orange juice, this could be milk, whatever it is. So divide by 36, divide by 36 again, and 1 ounce in this package gives you 0.08. So this was a case where buying the bigger package was more economical for you. Okay. Let's see, the apples. It's better to buy 4 apples for 95 cents or 6 apples for $1.49. So again, dollar on top, 0.95 cents, and you can get 4 apples. You want the price per apple. divide that by 4, divide that by 4, and you end up getting that each apple here is 0.24 cents for one apple. Please write the unit here, the unit of measurement, dollars, apples, and at the bottom you have 1.49, and you're buying 6 apples. Okay, and you want the price per apple, so let's divide that. 6 divided by 6, 1 apple. So in essence, you're paying, and this one, if you round it, be careful when you look at the calculator, okay? This one rounds up to 25 cents, and the top one runs out to 24 cents. So in this case, you're better off, not by much, but still by a penny. The top deal, we're buying 4 apples for 99 cents, came out to be a little bit cheaper, okay? Número 5, find the unit rate. Okay, I guess we should have started with these, finding the unit rate instead of doing better deal first. But anyways, so unit rate means that we wanted to compare it to 1, okay, $73.45 for in 13 hours. So he works 13 hours, he makes $73.45, which means that we want to find the unit rate, meaning what does he make in 1 hour? So, and this comes out to be $5.65. That's what unit rate means, how much he makes per one unit. Okay. And then we have 100 meters. I ran 100 meters in 12.2 seconds. And we want to find out how much I can run in 1 single second. So in 1 second, I ran 8.2 meters. Okay, we got a couple more. Let's see, and we have $22 buys you 4 dozen. I believe. No, I'm sorry, it's 5 dozen. Okay, $22 buys you 5 dozen, and cross the line, 5 dozen. So you want the price per dozen. And you divide top and bottom by 5. And you get that this ends up being $4.40 per dozen. Okay. Bottom one. It's 11,025 tickets in 9 days. Let's write T in days here. Or you want to know how many tickets you got per day or sold. Okay, or you sell tickets. So how many tickets did you sell in 1 day? This comes out to be 1,225 tickets sold in 1 day. Okay, those are easy. 6. Create 2 new ratios that are proportional to the following. Okay, so we have 7/12 over here. And you want to create 2 that are proportional. You can go up or you can go down. So let's find one. Easiest one would be times 2, and you get a new ratio, 14/24. You know that the growth is proportional. Why? Because I multiplied by the same factor. I double the top and I double the bottom. You can multiply it by 3 if you like, or by any other, as long as they're, I'm sorry, oops, that's wrong. By any other number, as long as you apply the same top and bottom. So let's try again here. 7/12 times 3, and you get 21/36. So here are my 2 new ratios. I also said you could go lower. You don't necessarily have to, always increase. What if you made it smaller? Well, divide by 2. Divide by 2, and you get 3.5/6. That's fine. Just because of a decimal doesn't mean it's wrong. It doesn't look pretty, but nevertheless, it's still a proportion. It was cut in half. Both top and bottom were cut in half. So that's that for that one. And then we have 13/15. And again, let's use different numbers. So let's increase it times 10 times 10. and you get here 130 over 150. Let's do another one times 4, and I guess you're going to get here 42 over 60. So there are my two new ratios that are proportional to the original one. Okay, remember proportion is a pattern that happens over and over and over again. So 13 over 15 grew to 42 over 60 because 13 over 15 happened once, twice, 3 times, 4 times. That same ratio was maintained 4 times, and it grew to 42 over 60. Okay? 8. Lana walks 12 miles in 8 hours. How many miles can she walk in 22 hours? Now, do we put miles or hours on top? Well, I would suggest hours, only because the second part of the problem says you want to know how many she can walk in 22 hours. That is going to be your multiplier there. So this is a problem where it looks like this. You got rate, you got unit rate, you got the little multiplier here, and then your answer. Your rate looks like this: 12 miles in 8 hours. Okay, and your unit rate, when you divide this by 8 and this by 8, and you end up having that in 1 hour, she can go 1.5 miles. Right. Having this right here, your unit rate, you can find out anything you want from now on, whether it's 22 hours, 5 hours, 100 hours, it doesn't matter. Once you have the unit rate, it makes life so much simpler. So if in 1 hour she can run, or walk, I should say, 1.5 miles, in 22 hours, it's just a simple case of multiplying top and bottom by 22. So 1 hour, well, we want to know 1 times 22 is 22. So in 22 hours, she ends up walking, what did I write down? 33 miles. Okay? Let's see. 9. 9 is the same thing. Tony can build 24 tables in 40 minutes. How many tables can build in 5 hours? Ooh, careful here. There's a little tricky part here. So let's write our rate, which is 24 T for tables in 40 minutes. So construct 24 tables in 40 minutes, probably small tables. In 1 minute, how many tables can you make? So divide that by 40. And I want to do the same thing on top. And that gets to be 0.6 tables. So in 1 minute, he can't really finish a single table. He finished a little bit more than half. So here's our unit rate. Okay, we know what he can do in 1 minute. He can finish a little bit more than half of a table. But we're interested in finding how much he can do in 5 hours. Careful, your unit rate here is in minutes, and the question says in 5 hours. So you've got to take a little side step here. 5 hours equals how many minutes? Oops, that's supposed to be a question mark. Let's erase that. So 5 hours, you've got to change that to minutes. And we know that 1 hour has 60 minutes, so 5 times 60 gives you 300 minutes. So that's the little thing you have to do in this particular problem. Okay? Change it to minutes. So there's like 300 minutes. Now I can go back to my problem here and say, and write down that we know that in 1 minute he can build 0.6 of a table, which is a little bit more than half, and we're going to multiply this by 300 minutes because that's the amount of time that we are interested. So in 300 minutes, which means 5 hours, he can build a lot of tables, and that is going to be 180 tables. Okay. Where are we? Ooh, the 4. Okay. 4 out of 15 people are going on vacation this winter. If there are 600 people, how many of them would go on a vacation? Okay, so our ratio here is 4 out of 15. That's the first thing you do. Write it as a fraction. 4. Let's write 4v for vacation and 15 for total. So a group of 15 people, 4 of them will go on vacation. So on this side, I write t over here because I want that to be a total, and I want this v for people going on vacation. The second part of our question here says 600 people. That's our new total. What if that 15 grew to 600 people? How many of those will go on vacation? Well, it's a new ratio that you're creating. So how does the 15 gets to be a 600? Okay, and that would be times 40. Okay, so your new ratio grows to 600. So whatever you apply to the bottom, you must apply to the top. So if you multiplied 15 times 40 to get to 600, you have to do the same over here. So your new answer becomes 160. Notice that these two ratios are proportional, okay, just like we did earlier on number 6. Okay, so if there were a total of 600 people instead of 15, out of the 600, 160 people would go on vacation. Number 11. Alright, so here we have a group of lions, and we can write that 6 out of them, 6 lions, they like zebras. Yummy. Out of a total of 20 total. So if there are 20 in a pride, okay, 6 of them would prefer to eat zebras. But the number of lions grew to 150. That's our new total. Our new total is 150. So our pride of 20 lions grew to be a pride of 150 lions. So that growth has to be represented by a number here. So 20 times a particular number is 150, and this case is 7.5. Okay, there's our factor. So 20 times 7.5 because 150, and the same thing has to happen on top. Times 7.5. So if our new pride of 150 lions, out of 115 lions in our new pride, 45 of them would like zebras. Alright, I'll just pause this for a second. Okay, and we're back. Sorry about that. That was the wife. She went to Korea, so she was calling me. Anyways, question 12 and 13, I made mistakes. So it's if you did it, you probably got really ugly numbers. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to write out the question. I'm going to pause this, and then I'm going to give you a chance to work on it. And you can pause after. All right, let me start again. I'll write the question again with the numbers that are going to be a little bit better. And you can pause the video, do it on your own, and then press play again. Okay, so question 12, let me write it out. The ratio of apples to oranges, I don't know what I was thinking of, is 1 to 10. Okay, and we want to find out if the basket has 132 of them. Let me write fruits. How many are apples? All right, you can do this several ways. So pause your video and you can come back. Okay. All right, so I don't have to pause. You have to pause. So 2 ways of doing this. So let's do it using setting up a proportion here. We want to know how many apples are there. Well, let's look at our apples to oranges. First of all, let me write what I can. I know there are 132 fruits, so that's total. So the bottom has to be total on both fractions. Both of them have to be totals. And on top, I want to find the number of apples. So that should be my setup. So the ratio here, 1 apple for a total of 11. Be careful, okay, because I have 1 apple to 10 oranges. So as a group, I have 11 total and 1 apple. Now, on the other side, we want to find out the number of apples if there are a total of 132. Remember, this total, the bottom, the units at the bottom, they always have to match. So if I'm talking about total at the bottom, I have to be talking about total on the other side as well. So for that, for the 11 to become a 132, okay, you need to find out what multiplied gives you 132, and that answer is 12. So 11 times 12, and upstairs times 12 as well. So we have a total of 12 apples. Okay. Now I'm also going to do this using a tape diagram. Okay. So tape diagram, we have apples and oranges. Okay. Remember, each square represents 1. So for this 1 apple, oh, and this is going to be quite big. And you're wondering why this is slanted. That's because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 10. And with the apple on the top, that makes it a total of 11. Now, we know there's 132 total fruits. So how do we put all these fruits in each square evenly? Okay, so the magic number here is 12, because we 132 divided by the 11 boxes that we have 12, 12, 12, 12, 12, 12, 12, and 12. Okay, so if you 12 times 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, that's 120. If we put another 12 over here, that's also 12, and 120 plus 12 gives us a grand total of 32. Okay, so you have two options here, and if you did it on top as a proportion over here, you just have to be careful not to write 1 to 10, because that's the ratio of apples to oranges, but we want to use the ratio of apples to total. A little tricky here, okay? And my iTunes keeps falling, so cancel, sorry. Alright, so where are we? 13, same thing. Okay, after I write the question, take a couple of seconds to do it. Pause the video. So let me write the questions with the new numbers. So the ratio of books to pencils is 3 to 2. I don't know why I wrote 5 to 2. Again, it is possible to do it, but you get a very ugly decimal. So let's try to avoid that for now. So the ratio of books to pencils is 3 to 2. How many pencils are needed if we buy, what if we buy 65 books? Oh, okay, this is much easier. All right, so we have a ratio here of 3 to 2. So let's write that, the ratio as we know it. So 3 to 2, and 3 for books, and 2 for pencils. And our ratio, our number of books, a number of books is going to increase from 3 to 65 books. Again, because it's a proportion, the growth happens, growth is the same. So 3 books, 2 pencils, 3 books, 2 pencils, 3 books, 2 pencils. Okay, so every time we buy 3 books, we buy 2 pencils together. So we keep doing that until we reach a number of 65. So what happens when we buy 65 books? So that growth here has to be the same. So 3 times a particular number is 65. Is there a number times? Oh, okay, don't tell me I messed up again. 3 times, let's do that. And again, that number is ugly. So ignore what I just said because I'm going, so ignore, and let's see if I can fix this. Actually, the original one was okay. 5 to 2 was okay. Okay, you know what? I messed up. So right, ignore what I just said. Let's keep the question in its original format. Okay, sorry guys, which was I believe 5 to 2. Right, and that worked. So he had 5 books, 2 pencils, and again that ratio is going to grow proportionally, meaning every time you buy 5 books, you get 2 pencils. So if you buy 10 books, you get 4 pencils. You double it, and so forth until you reach 65 books. So instead of buying 5 books, you buy 65, and you want to find the number of pencils that need to come along. So that growth here has to be the same. 5 times, in this case, it's going to be 13, right? Because 5 times 13 is 65, so you must do the same thing at the bottom. So 5 times 2 times 13 is 26 pencils. Okay, I'm going to do this not using a tape diagram, but using pictures in this one. So here is book, 3, 4, 5, pencil. So let's do that again. 3, 4, 5, pencil. Now we have 10 books, 4 pencils. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, another 2 pencils. We have 15 books, 6 pencils. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2 pencils. Okay, so that ratio of 5 to 2 is happening over and over and over again. Okay. All right, maybe I should have used smaller numbers, but nevertheless, I want you to get the idea here. What do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We're missing more. Okay. 8. That makes it 40 books. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 45 books. 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 50 books. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 55 books. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That is 60 books. And then where do I have room? Right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have a total of 65 books. So all the B's represent, each B represents a book. So if you count all the B's, you would have 65 books, and all the P's represents pencils. So if you were to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. And let's compare that to our answer in the top. Yep, that matches. And you have right here, same answer. So whether you use pictures or set it up as a proportion, you get the same answer. Okay? Sorry about the mess there. 14. To make a big salad for the family dinner this Sunday, Liz bought 8 cucumbers, 9 carrots, and 5 onions. Write a part-to-part ratio from the above. Okay. So you had many choices here. Part-to-part ratio. So you could have written 8 cucumbers to 9 carrots. You could have written 5 onions to 8 cucumbers. Right here. CU. Cucumbers. You could have written 8 cucumbers to 5 onions. So a lot of choices here. Okay, as long as you took a part and another part of the salad. Part B, write a part to total ratio. Well, part part of the salad was the 8 cucumbers. So we have 8 cucumbers compared to the total of all them items. So you have 8 plus 9, which is 17, plus 5, which is 22. A total of 22 ingredients in this salad. Okay. Another one you could have written was 9 carrots to 22 total, or even the 5 onions to 22 total. That's a part to total comparison. Okay. 15. All right, so this one deals with that folding. Okay, so here we have something that's cut up into 3 parts. That's 0 and that's 1 for full, and you have an X here. I'm asking you to tell me what the location of that X is on that number line using fractions. Well, what you know right now is that this is 1/3 and this is 2/3. So the X is between 1/3 and 2/3. You can say that, but that's not as precise as we could make it. So another way of thinking is, let's keep the original one, is remember when you were folding the strips, from something that's folded in 3 parts, you can fold it in half, each part in half, creating, instead of thirds, now you have 6s. So we got 0, 1 6, 2 6, 3 6, 4 6, 5 6, and 1. Where does this go? 3/6. Okay. Next, we have, ooh, this one's going to be a long one. All right, so we have a line, very crooked line. And let me count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, so 4. Let's cut that in 4s and then cut that again. And now we have 8. And our X is right here. So this is 1/8. That's 0. 2 8s, 3 8s, 4 8s, and let me change that to an 8. 5 8s, 6 8s, 7 8s. So our X is between 6 8 and 7 8. Again, not precise enough. Okay, so we want to see if we can find a better location here. And what we can do is, again, take the 8th, okay, something that was folded into 8 parts, and we can cut that again or fold it again. And from 8s, we can make it into 16th. And as you can tell, now you can have a better location. So this would be 0, and since it's everything 1/16, 2/16, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So this would be 13/16. Oh, I forgot one more here. And that would be 14/16. So our X drops right here to be 13/16. Okay. 16. Use a tape diagram to solve the following. Blah blah blah. The ratio of pens. So let's set up our tape diagram. Pens, pencils. Okay, the ratio is 5 to 7. So pens here we have to make 5 boxes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And for pencils it says 7. So the ratio is 5 to 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's our ratio of 5 to 7, and where each box represents 1, so it's 5 to 7. But they say that we changed that ratio to 35, so our number of pencils grew to 35. So how do we fit 35 in these boxes? Well, there's 7 of them. 35 divided by 7, I'm sorry, is 5, so we get 5, 5, 5, 5, 3 more. And that gives you a total of 35. Remember, in the tape diagram, the beautiful part, or the easy part in the tape diagram, is that if you find one number, all of them share that number. So when you have 35 pencils, you end up having 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 pencils. That's our answer. Okay. 17. I need 2 more questions. We have a rate table. Okay. So we have money, apples. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, and let's see what we have. We have the number 5, number 9, number 27, the number 35, and number 45. So we want to fill in the missing information. So our rate table says that for $5 over here, I can buy 9 apples. What happens when I buy 27 apples? How much do I have to pay? Well, from 9 to 27, it's an increase of times 3. So my price has to change by an increase of times 3. So instead of paying $5, I will now pay 15. Okay. So second part. So instead of, what if I end up paying $35? How many apples did I buy? Well, from $5 to 35, it's a growth of times 7. My apples have to have the same growth of times 7, giving me a number of 63. Last box. From 9 apples, instead of buying 9 apples, I bought 45 apples, which is a growth of times 5. So my money, the amount I've paid, has to be a growth of times 5, giving me $25. So I paid $5, get 9 apples, or $15 gets 27 apples, $35 gives me 63 apples, or $25 gives me 45 apples. And one more. Again, this one says miles per hour. Miles per hour. And, oops. Oh, we'll figure it out. 2, 3, 4. 15 miles took me 3 hours. What was I thinking in making this so easy? Well, 15 miles, 3 hours. So we want to know how many hours it took for me to go 40 miles, 67. This is an up and down one, an up and down relationship. Okay. How does this 15 become a 3? Okay. There's 2 ways of doing this. Let's go for the easy way. Okay. If you find a relationship between these 2 numbers, from a 15 to go down to 3 is, divided by 5. From a 3 to become a 15 is a relationship of times 5. Well, all our numbers, we have the top number, so we are going down. We're going down on this one, and we're going down on that one. Okay, so 40, we're going down. In this case, we got to divide it by 5, which gives us 8. The 60 divided by 5 gives us 12, and the 70 divided by 5 gives us 14. Okay, this wasn't up and down. Up and down is usually very, very easy. Okay, so if you can, look for that relationship first. All right, I'm going to do this one more way. Let me erase this bottom. Actually, let me erase everything. How do I do that? Okay, and let's go from the beginning. Although the problem didn't give you an extra square, you could create one right here. Okay, that's a column. And find the unit rate. So I can drive 15 miles in 3 hours or in 1 hour. Okay. For the 3 to become a 1, it's divided by 3. So the top must be divided by 3 as well, giving me 5. So I can say I drove 15 miles in 3 hours, or I drove 5 miles in 1 hour. I have a unit rate. Look how much easier life is going to be when I have the unit rate. So using this ratio here, I can find the rest. So from 5 to 40, okay, 5 to 40, it's a growth of times 8. So the bottom from 1 to this box right here has to be the same growth of times 8, giving us 8. So from 5 to 60, it's a growth of times 12. And guess what? The bottom is also going to be times 12, giving us 12 hours. And finally, the top one from 5 to 70 is the growth of times 14. And guess what? The bottom from 1 is times 14, giving us 14. All right, so this one, although you didn't have this column right here, you could have created one to find the unit rate, and then with that information, find out all the other ones. So you have choices over here. Okay. Look over your notes. If you are okay doing these problems, you should be very, very okay on Monday. Okay. If you have any questions on the website, there is a little contact where you can just click, write, and I'll respond to you. Okay. Apart from that, have a good weekend, and I'll see you guys. Okay.